Hello. Today we are recapping the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 18, Episode 9. I will warn you, there is a ton that happens in this episode, so it might be a little lengthy, but let's go ahead and jump right in. Episode opens up with Heather talking to Alexis in the car about trying to mend things with Shannon, and Alexis says absolutely not, and that she is about to unleash on Shannon because she keeps telling lies and keeps talking about Johnny J, her boyfriend. In the next scene, Heather is hanging out with her family and slightly touches on her child, who is transitioning from female to male, but she doesn't want to tell their story or any of her children's stories. She says it's a fine line between not hiding them because they're proud of them, but also not making them feel exploited by like bringing them on the show and telling their story. So she lightly touches on it, and I think she does a great job. And actually, this moment is really touching that she like cares so deeply about her children and is just like so proud and doesn't want to like, because we see other housewives on the show like exploiting anything they can to get camera time. Tamara. The girls are packing for the Sonoma trip, and Heather elaborates on what it's all about. It's for the Family Equality charity that she has worked for a long time, and she says that it works with legislation to help families thrive and survive. That's what she says. I'm not really sure exactly what that means. She kind of elaborates a little bit on it later on in the episode. I think that they work with legislation to help LGBTQ plus issues be forefront in lawmaking, is my understanding, but I'm not 100% sure on everything. Jen is getting ready for the trip and calls Katie to tell her that she's taking a separate flight because she has court for her temporary child support and alimony, and she gets emotional about how overwhelming everything is right now. I think it's just a lot for Jen. She, lost her rental house, she lost her car, she's moving in with Ryan, she's still working on her divorce, she's not getting any money, she's now, this court date is coming up. So I think it's just a lot for Jen right now, and I kind of feel for her in this very moment because it does seem like life is just kind of crumbling around her. Okay, here's a funny moment. So Shannon broke her bag at the airport, and she's like on the tarmac or on the ground, like trying to put it back together. She like broke the zipper. I just want to give a shout out to Shannon because she is the funniest. She's such good comedic relief in this show. She's just hysterical, and I think that she makes a really good housewife because she like just completely forgets about the cameras and just is her authentic self, and that's what makes a good reality star. So props to Shannon. Heather got the girls a private plane for the trip, and Heather puts Katie and Gina in the back of the plane. Gina makes mention in an interview that she's like, I get it, I'm back here with the girl that you don't like. So Gina's really still feeling the wrath of Heather, and this is what Katie has to look forward to. The girls touch down in Sonoma, and Alexis is in the car with Gina, and Alexis says she wants to approach Shannon and say, let's just put the John issues aside for this trip. This is for charity. So she doesn't want to deal with it on the trip, basically. So then Gina responds to Alexis and says that she shouldn't release any of those incriminating videos because it will take Shannon over the edge. So I think the girls are a little worried about how much Shannon can take, and they're kind of alluding to Alexis like, don't do this. Like, you don't want to be this guy and this bad guy. Shannon, Gina, Katie, and Emily sit down for lunch in Sonoma, and Shannon orders a drink immediately. Gina thinks it's a bad idea, so she says this in her interview. She thinks it's a bad idea that Tamara is going to roast her for it. Like, Gina says, I'm sober, like, Tamara's here, like, we're on this relaxing trip, like, why are you ordering a drink? It's not a good idea. But she doesn't say it directly to Shannon, she just says it in her interview later. Heather tells the girls that they are going to the spa, and she's going to take the other girls to a wine tasting. So Heather's telling them that they're splitting up, and obviously Katie and Gina are in the group that are going to the spa without Heather. Tamara and Alexis sit down for lunch, and Tamara says there are stories everywhere about Alexis and John walking the red carpet the night before and doing interviews about their relationship. And Alexis just kind of smiles and like giggles and laughs it off. Shannon says John told Shannon that she ruined his life by making his life public, and she's confused at why he is now trying to chase the spotlight and is doing red carpets and interviews, which is very interesting because why would you, like, these men, there's been multiple men that have been on the show that have gone after multiple housewives because I think they enjoy the spotlight. Shannon tells the girls that the deadline for her to respond to John's $75,000 request is today, and she tells them that she offered him half of what he wanted. Shannon also says that the most important thing to John is him looking like a good guy. So basically, Her deadline is that day that they land in Sonoma for her to be like, yes, I'll pay you the $75,000. But she told them, no, I'm only giving you half of the money. Alexis makes mention that some of her kids may be part of the LGBTQ plus community and that she is so supportive of them. This is very interesting to me because Alexis in previous seasons and in the past has always been like very religious, and I don't really want to go into this like whole zone, but it's just very interesting to me that, I mean, I guess I get it, it's her children, but at the same time, like she has been very like, I'm the Christian woman and this is how things are. So it's just very interesting to me that like her heart is warmed up to that. I mean, again, I get it, it's her children, but again, I don't want to touch on this. It just was very interesting to me. Heather elaborates on the affiliation with the Family Equality Charity. They asked her to do a wine collaboration and all of the proceeds go to the charity. So they basically said, let's do a collaboration. So Heather created 4 different types of wines. Loosely, she says, based on her children, each one of her children. So she created them, and they're going to sell the wine, and then all the proceeds go to the charity. Jen arrives in Sonoma, joins the ladies at lunch, and talks about her settlement case. She said it did not go very well, and that she's only going to get $6,000 a month in settlement support. And then the women start talking about how that's not a lot of money in Orange County, and when you have all these kids, I think she has 4 or 5 kids, and they're saying that that's just not a lot of money. But I think, isn't it based on the person's income? So obviously his income's not that high because it only can be a certain amount of money based on their income, because I think you have to show records. I don't know a lot about this, but I think you have to show your income records, and then they base the support off of that. I mean, he can't be paying more than he's earning. Tamara then spills the tea that Shannon was photographed at a bar drinking by herself, and then he did a little flashback of Tamara bringing it up in the car like it was a news article, and Shannon was there, and Shannon was like, oh no, I ordered like a cranberry and 7-Up or cranberry and like sparkling water or whatever. We're all like, no you didn't. Gina, Katie, Shannon, and Emily head to the spa. While they're at the spa, Shannon gets a call from her lawyer and steps out to take the call. She comes back and tells the girls that John did not accept her settlement offer. Emily then tells Shannon that maybe she should just pay John what he's asking for so that she can just be done with this whole thing and not worry about it, and just have peace of mind with it. Then we flip back to the girls at the wine tasting. Tamara tells Heather at lunch, the more she gets to know Katie, the more she thinks Gina was behind the whole paparazzi situation and leading that charge. So she should give Katie another chance. They then do a flashback to Katie talking about how she is getting more and more upset with Gina about the whole paparazzi situation and how she feels kind of set up. Heather says she's going to be polite, but she does not see her and Katie being best friends anytime in the near future. Alexis said she told John to settle with Shannon, and John said F no, and that he's upset that Shannon has smeared his name. So basically Alexis is talking about like, hey John, like just settle, just take the money and move on. And John's like, nope, we're riding this out to the end. I'm over Shannon talking crap about me in the public eye. Which is interesting because she's like fighting for Shannon, or she's fighting against Shannon and like saying like, we're going to like release the tapes and yada yada yada. And then she's like, John, just take the money. So a little confusing. Maybe the girl's telling her like, this is going to destroy Shannon, just getting in her head a little bit and being like, okay, maybe we need to back down. Back at the spa, Gina slips and mentions the incriminating videos in front of Shannon, and they end up telling Shannon that they have ring footage of Shannon almost running over John's daughter, and Shannon gets really upset, which I would too. So this is kind of crazy. I was sitting there watching this scene, and I was like, I mean, Gina, literally, you could tell she like, it just slipped out, and she didn't mean to, but as a good friend, if you're a good friend, I mean, I know you're on a reality show, but I think something like this, like I would like call somebody off camera and be like, hey, I just heard about this. Like, this is crazy. And this is coming up on the show. But maybe that's why I wouldn't be a good reality person. Shannon immediately calls her lawyer and tells him to pay John whatever he wants. I think she is really worried about these videos getting out because they sound horrible. And I'm sure she knows exactly what's on the footage. I don't know. She says she's drunk. She was drunk. It doesn't remember, but I mean, obviously she doesn't want these like crazy videos out there. Katie and Emily head to the spa baths, and Katie recommends maybe Emily talks to Alexis since she's known her for a while, and Emily agrees that she needs to tell Alexis that this is going to destroy Shannon if she releases these videos. Then we cut to all the girls getting ready for dinner, and Shannon goes over to Heather's room to talk about what happened at the spa and how they told her about the incriminating videos. Shannon then proceeds to talk about the night of her DUI and what she remembers, and then she said that she took a photo that night and ends up showing Heather the photo. I will put the photo up here, but I do want to let you know that this is like very graphic. This is a very graphic photo. Like Shannon's very bloody and whatnot. So I'll put it up here so you guys can see it, but Just a warning that it's very graphic. So that is how the episode ends. I hope you enjoyed my recap. I will link down below the playlist to all the other episodes in this season. Hit that subscribe button to check out all my other recaps from other shows and upcoming videos that I do. And thank you so much for joining me, and I will check you on the next one.